Welcome back to the Hectare Trading Grain Market Update, where we brief you on this week's events and what's behind movements in the market. The Hectare Trading Midlands benchmark price for feed wheat is £172, down a pound from last week. A succession of conflicting signals over the Iran war has caused uncertainty in global grain markets. Meanwhile, Egypt, competing with Indonesia as the world's top wheat importer, is facing record high domestic wheat prices due to a currency depreciation, soaring fuel costs, and the Middle East conflict. London feed wheat futures have lacked significant direction for much of this week. The old crop May contract climbed to £172.45 on Monday, before moving slightly lower to end Wednesday at £172.05. A marginal gain on Thursday saw the contract close at £173.40. Farmers have been forward selling 2026 feed wheat this week on Hectare Trading, locking in new crop prices in the East and West Midlands, Central Scotland and East Anglia. The Hectare Trading Midlands benchmark price for milling wheat is £185, down a pound from last week. Hot, dry and windy weather in the US have raised concerns over the condition of US hard red winter wheat. Upside price movement is, however, being capped by Russian exports, with March grain shipments estimated to reach 4.7 million tonnes. Having dropped to €203.25 at the end of last week, the Paris milling wheat May contract started the week on the back foot, finishing Monday at €202.25. By Thursday's close, the contract stood at €205.25. The Hectare Trading Midlands benchmark price for feed barley is £155, down £8 from last week. The recent spell of dry and warm weather has improved ground conditions, helping to accelerate spring planting progress throughout the UK. Across the Channel, French spring barley planting is already 95% complete, well ahead of their 5-year average. Total barley production across the EU and the UK is forecast to fall to 59.3 million tonnes this year, down from 63.6 million tonnes in 2025. The Hectare Trading Midlands benchmark price for OSR is £425, down a pound from last week. Strikes on critical energy infrastructure across Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the UAE helped send Brent crude oil briefly above $110 per barrel at the end of last week. The global oilseed complex has, however, stopped reacting heavily to every swing in the energy markets. China slashed its imports of US soybeans by nearly 84% in January-February, heavily pivoting to Brazilian supplies. The USDA nevertheless expects a surge in China's soybean imports to 108 million tonnes in 2026-27. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials suggested the country may increase its rapeseed planting by a third to 1.5 million hectares if the conflict in the Middle East is prolonged. The Paris rapeseed May contract has been hovering around the €500 mark this week, dropping to €497.50 on Monday, before recovering to €500.50 by Tuesday's end. At Thursday's close, the contract stood at €502.25. Once you've signed up to Hectare Trading, you can access the latest market insights. By filtering on region, you can see our regional benchmark price estimates, our market analysis, the latest prices that have been offered to farmers, as well as market commentary, futures, and access to wider market news. That's all for this week. Don't forget to sign up to get the latest market insights and click subscribe to get the next update.